Bader wants to know, how do you guys always keep positive, especially when any hate is thrown your way?
because at the end of the day, when hate's thrown our way, I always laugh at this. I'm like, you know what I do all day? And this is all I've ever done. I spend all day trying to figure out ways to make people laugh. And then I do a podcast. I don't know what I'm doing that's causing, like, if you hate me, I don't know what to tell you. I've always tried to treat people well. I think if you asked anybody I've ever worked with, anyone I've ever been around, they would tell you that I'm a pretty nice guy who does his best. I take care of my family, and he's the same fucking way. Every time somebody meets him, they go, hey, he's really nice. Yeah, I know. You know what he hates? He hates even hurting people's feelings.
But you know, what are we supposed to? Like, what are we supposed to do?
You hate us?
Also, name somebody that's not, like, anybody that, and we're not celebrities, but, like, anyone doing anything of note, like, hate's just what you sign up for. I don't know too many people that, like, just focus on that. If all we did is focus on that, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, I don't read comments, good or bad. That's the thing. I never, good comments, bad comments, I don't read, because they give you the same power. If you put weight in that, you can't win with the internet. But I think for the most part, I get love, and I don't get a lot of hate, but
I just come to the territory.
And sometimes people are just fucking with you anyway. Sometimes it's fun to hate on somebody. Sometimes it's fun to kick somebody around.
It's such a waste of time, though. It's just such a waste. Like some of the people that edit these videos of, these reaction videos, or, the downfall of Shane Gillis or Andrew Schultz or Brendan Schaub. It's like, buddy, clearly you have editing skills. If you just focus on it, you'd have a career, dude. Like, if you did something creative where you weren't, just giving an opinion on somebody else's talent, like, dude, you could fucking do this, man.
I'd like them to work.
They have more skill than I do.
I'll hire.
Kino77 wants to know, what's one thing you would both do differently if you had to start this podcast over again?
Not the Bobby Lee stuff and listen to people. But as far as do things different, I think when Bryan was going all through his shit, him taking a leave of absence was a bad idea. And me just doing the show with random people, I think that was a bad idea. I think we should have, granted we need the money at the time, I think we should have put our foot down. Now, in 2025, you can do that. Everyone's like champion you, right? Like, you'll see guys that get accused of bullshit and everyone's like, we don't believe it. But back in 2019, when we were going through it, and I was like, B, what do you want to do? And the only way to get money was for Bryan to take a leave of absence. I think it ruined the show. I think that, along with the Bobby Lee stuff, ruined the show. Now, I do think there's a place for us to come back, whatever that means, But I would do this show for free. I love seeing Bryan. I love you guys. I would do it for free.
Yeah.
Bryan?
Same thing.
Love that.
I think you said it well.
Deuces Macchiano.
Not only would Brendan Schaub do that podcast for free, he is actively paying to do that podcast, because that podcast does not generate enough money to pay him, Callen, and their staff. So I love how they admitted that the podcast is ruined and dead. Of course it is, but I have to go back to the first part when they were talking about the haters. These guys, it's just what comes with the territory. Just acting like they're above it and don't pay attention to it. Hey, stupid, you filed a lawsuit. You lost. You filed an appeal. You then went on your podcast, lied, said that you had nothing to do with the appeal, and then because of your lies, your lawyer made you sign a statement saying you're completely aware of the lawsuit and you're in charge of everything. And when you lose that appeal, you're going to try and take that lawsuit to the Supreme Court. And that's just against Little May. So I hate this. We just keep it positive. We don't let the haters get to us. If I worry all day about a hater, you literally worry all day about haters. You literally do. It is in federal court documents that you watch every video I make about you. You watch every live stream. And you have to watch every live stream because I might say something that could affect the court case. Trust me, I sat there during depositions. Mr. Swindells, on May 28th, you said this about Brendan Schaub on Twitch. It's like, damn, y'all watch Twitch? I half expected to say, Mr. Swindells, after you won a game of Call of Duty, you said something about Schaub. It's like, damn, how much are you people really watching and listening? That's why, like, when he filed the lawsuit, I couldn't do any videos with his clips. Then the lawsuit, I won, and then I could start doing it. But I also stopped really live streaming because the ghost lawyer had told me, dude, they've already said in court documents, they're watching every live stream you do, and that's back when I was drinking. You're going to get drunk and say something, and it's going to affect the lawsuit. So that's why I pretty much even stopped live streaming, but they watch and listen to everything, and they're so thin-skinned, at least Schaub is. I think Callen knows how to deal with it a lot better than Schaub, that he can't just go with the joke. He can't Joe Matarese it and make it uncomfortable, but you stop the hate that way. Go on the Fighter and the Kids Stop Ready. Be like, hey, guys, yeah, I'm stupid. Yeah, I'm part of the joke now. Then everyone can be like, oh, he's part of it. He's like leaning into it. Okay, it's not fun to make fun of him anymore. But not capable because they always got to flex. You can't be that person and still be like, yo, I drive Lamborghinis, and even though it's all my dad's money, but I'll never admit that, and I'm balling. And the whole thing just truly is pathetic. Just lies upon lies upon lies. But back to the other thing when he talked about the reason that the podcast is ruined, the Bobby Lee thing. Yeah. Well, first and foremost, he'll never address it. The reason why your podcast is ruined is you broke the golden rule of the internet. You not only filed false copyright takedowns, you filed a frivolous lawsuit. That's why your podcast is dead. The lawsuit. And all the people who made videos that got millions of views, the quartering Penguins, Moist Critical guy. It's like you broke the golden rule of the internet. That's why your podcast is over. Yeah, Callen was gone, but we understood that. And like, we're willing to shoot bail even with new co-hosts. However, before all of that, you filed a lawsuit, and that's why your podcast failed. That's why you're a lol cow. That's why you're gone and can never come back. If it was just the Bobby Lee thing, you could have came back. Because you're buddies with Joe Rogan. He has you on his podcast every other week. Can't be the Callen thing. Callen's been back for years. Your podcast is dead. Because not only did you file a frivolous lawsuit, you keep it going. And that's what I'm talking about. The reason why he'll never just lean into it, he'll never come out, he'll never drop the lawsuit, even though we're in the appeal and I won it, but he'll never drop this process we're in and just go, you know what, my bad, I screwed up, yeah, I took it too serious. Not capable of doing it. Ego too big, even though his daddy's paying the bills. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments.